So I was locked up with this girl when I was in 14 County Jail. And when I first saw her, I didn't know it was her, of course, because I had only heard about the lady who put her sons in the oven, slow cooked them, and then sent either a picture or video to her, to the baby daddy, right? And I can remember hearing about that and being in disbelief, like, what? But when I got over into population, I heard that she was there. Now, when I seen her, I didn't know that was her. Like, I didn't know she was there in my section, right? And later on, I found out that she was a couple of doors down from my cell. So anyway, what happened was she was in there and she was arguing with another girl this particular day. They was going at it. Like, they was really going at it. And I still didn't know who she was because nobody really told us, the new ones that came in, like, this is who XYZ is. And so we had been with our little group, right? And so she was in there. She looked innocent. She looked like she was there, but she didn't look like she was there. That's my hand. That's what I'm going to say, first of all, right? But she was in there like everybody else. So it's like, okay, you know, people are dealing with stuff. You don't know why they look spaced out. You don't know why they look like they look. But I know she had some friends and she was chilling. And the reason I think that she had friends, like, was just moving like everybody else, because I was in there with women who had killed their husband, who had killed other people, who had did, you know. And so what they say, birds of a feather flock together, even though they had all us mixed up, and I've never, you know, did that, right? So she was like moving like normal, but she was arguing with this girl one day, and this is how I found out, like, they was going at it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, these witches about to get us on lockdown, right? Get our time taken away. Nobody want to be stuck on lockdown longer than we have to, right? Because when we get out, we want our free time. And the girl that she was arguing with was like, at least I didn't burn my babies up in an oven. At least I'm not a baby killer. What? And it was like, what? And me and the girls beside was like, oh, okay, that's her. So, right, immediately your perception changed, right? You looking like, oh, she look innocent and she this and that and she, okay, right. So at that point, I'm like knowing like, okay, this is what we got going on in here, right? And I'm thinking like, why isn't she somewhere in a mental facility or whatever, right? But the bottom line is that you're realizing like this whole incarceration thing ain't what it is, right? They just throwing people in. And so anyway, a couple of days later, like after finding that out, they saying that she got to go to court, right? And it's like, okay, we all got to go to court, right? And all this and that. But this is the thing. The girl was like, no, you don't even know what's up. Like when she go to court, they actually roll in the very oven that she burned her kids up in, and you can still smell the flesh from the kids. Now, when I tell you that was enough to make me want to throw up and make you feel sick, it just amazed me that she could go to court and come back and be in her right mind. That let me know like something is not right here, because you know, what in the world? But then at the same time, I know that she used to go into the Bible study classes as well. So my thought is that we don't know what was going on with her before she got there. We don't know what she has gone through, and we don't know what her relationship with God is right now. We know what she did, and that put a bad taste in all of our mouths, right? So in my mouth, I'm going to speak for myself, right? So anyway, what happened, my interaction with her was that um, I didn't really eat the food there because I knew it was not for human consumption. I knew it. And then when they was giving us food, it was cold bologna sandwiches with cheese like too many times a day, or some that you don't recognize. So I wasn't eating the food. I would trade my bologna sandwiches for cookies because I knew it came from the vending, or I knew it was something that was safe, but I really wasn't eating while I was there. So what happened was one of my girls that I be hanging with had oatmeal one day that had come from the commissary. My money that my husband had sent to go on the books still hadn't come there. That when I tell you those are a whole bunch of other stores that let you know that they give you junk to make you get bag for money, to spend money back with them, to be, it's double jeopardy basically, like you giving money twice because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not using the money to give you decent food, and then you getting more money to give them more money to be able to have food that's decent to eat. So anyway, so one of the girls had oatmeal, and I was like, I trade you my sandwich for oatmeal or whatever. And she was like, I don't want that, but she gave me one. She was like, so XYZ had given her some packs. XYZ was the baby killer, right? So she gave, so she, so I kept getting oatmeal from her because in exchange I was letting them use my phone, my number for the phone, to be able to make calls to loved ones, because my husband kept money on my phone thing, right? So anyway, what happened was this particular day the girl didn't have no more oatmeal, and I hadn't ate the previous day, right? Because I didn't, my body had started getting accustomed to eating what I could eat when I had it, being able to get it right. And so what happened was I was hungry that day, and I went, so she was like, I don't have no more, but I told you who I got it from. So anyway, I knocked on her door, and I was like, do you have any more oatmeal? I was like, I'll give you whatever. And she was like, no, I don't want whatever, but she gave me a pack, and I was like, okay, thank you. And that was my interaction with her. It was another day I had an interaction with her. I can't remember if I gave her something, one of my plate or whatever, but it was like little interaction. But I remember after finding out what she did, I just would look at her, because like anybody else, you look at the women that unalived their husband, or you looked at somebody that unalived another woman, or you looked at people, and you kind of be like, oh, they must have this or that. And you heard stories about why they did what they did. Like one of the women was an older woman. She was like, because I walked in and caught him with another woman in my bed, again. So this dummy had, so yeah. But anyway, you find all the different things, but looking at her, I could never grasp my mind around why she did what she did. Like, you could play the scenarios out. You could be looking at this person, and it's like she was there, but the lights wasn't on, which means that it was like she was functioning, she was moving around, but you could see a deep emptiness inside of her, like a hole. And I don't know if I saw it before I knew, because of my discerning spirit, or it's because it was truly there, right? And my judgmental hat came on. You're not supposed to judge, but I disliked her to a degree because of that. I just kept thinking about the babies, and I kept thinking about there were people in there that did want to do something to her because of that. But at the same time, I could not figure it out. My mind wouldn't let me grasp the person I was looking at every day and the person who did that. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. And I know that mental break is real. I know that mental illness is real, and I just kept saying she must have had, like, yeah, something. I don't know. We don't know if she was getting drugs every day to keep her, because the nurse still come around every day and give prescriptions and stuff. But yeah, I was locked up with her, and it's surreal until it's not. And she got life, and yeah.